What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your host, back again, Cornell Dane, with another episode of the Relationship Theater. And tonight's going to be a pretty cool one. I just went for a jog, got some exercise in. I'm on this 30-day challenge where I have to do several things every day, and one of them is to run 1 mile for the first 30 days of 2024. So I just got finished doing that. It's about 9:30 at night here on the East Coast. And so I'm ready to make a video. And so tonight's topic is really something that I think should be common sense. It's not always applied in the way or the manner that I would assume it should be, but it's a very important thing to consider when we are getting into relationships. And it doesn't matter what type of relationship we're talking about. It could be romantic, it could be a family relationship, it could be a work relationship or occupational relationship. You need to factor this thing in. Okay, and that thing is called intentions. Okay, and there's a funny thing about intentions, right? Intentions aren't always things that, things that are communicated up front, right? Why? Well, because not all of us are self-aware enough to know what our intentions are. We don't know how really how we want this thing to go and how it's going to affect the other person. We don't have consequential knowledge of what this intention entails, what is going to be the fallout of this intention, nor do we really understand why it is that we have this impulse for this intention. Okay, but I'll tell you one thing: it's very important that, one, you grow in your self-awareness, and you also grow in your ability to be able to read other people, to be able to kind of chronicle a sequence of actions that the person may show you or demonstrate that will show you maybe what their intention is, or maybe even how they intend to go about getting whatever it is that they want. And I'll give you several examples as we go along tonight. But that's the primary idea or concept that we should flesh out tonight. Intentions. How do they govern relationships? And every relationship has a main intention behind it. Some of us, the more serious relationships, have the most dynamic intentions. They have the intentions that, if put first, if made primary, all of the secondary, tertiary intentions that may come with it will actually help the relationship to grow. And then you have the more static intention. So give you an example of a dynamic intention. A dynamic intention may be to be in partnership with someone, to love someone. Okay? Now, why is this a dynamic intention? What makes this a dynamic intention is the idea that maybe intimacy strengthens the companionship or the partnership that the person is even seeking, right? The ability to communicate or wanting to communicate is something that won't be neglected because the partnership won't work. The companionship will fray and tear if we don't communicate properly, right? That's a good example of what I would term a dynamic intention. And a lot of times, dynamic intentions, not all the time, but a lot of times, it's going to be these types of intentions that are communicated verbally, right? You don't necessarily always have to read a person's actions. Sometimes when someone's really serious about you, they're going to communicate their intention, this kind of intention, the dynamic kind, the kind that kind of grows or expands they're going to communicate that with you. Now, a static sort of intention would be something like sex, or a woman who wants to be cared for, a man who wants to be cared for. They have those too. Remember Kevin Federline? I think that was his name. But sex, right? Sex, not so dynamic, right? If you think about it, in a way, when we're looking at sex or monetary or financial security from your mate, and those are made primary, there's very little that growth that can come from that. If you think about it, it's the equivalent of someone who doesn't save their money while they're broke and thinking that when they have millions, they're going to do a better job. It's kind of like that, right? It's just not true. It just doesn't happen. So when someone wants sex or wants to be taken care of, you got to look at it this way. It's almost like they're commoditizing the relationship. Anybody who allows them to have sex can fit in this box, whether they're tall. It's almost like there's no preference of the individual for the individual, the type of individual that's in there. If you're just looking for sex, anybody can step in that place. And the sad part about it is, once that person has gotten it, depending upon their personality type, they may even lose interest, right? Maybe it's about the pursuit, right? So, and then on the other end of the spectrum, with the woman who's looking for security, here's the odd part. The woman gets the security. She has the man, but then she wakes up to the fact that maybe there is no intimacy. Those ancillary wants, desires, intentions are, she's weighted them so insignificantly in the early phases of the relationship that they're almost non-existent in the person that she's with, even though that person has the money. And so what does she do? Maybe she's miserable, or maybe she cheats. Maybe she looks for these other desires now that she's gotten the money. She looks for these other desires in other individuals. She finds a way to supplement this relationship that she has with this individual that's strictly about the money. And so, the challenge in seeing some of this is that, if you're unable to identify these things, you can be in a world of trouble. This is how people like basketball players, maybe, or sports stars, they get involved with women who really don't have their best interest at heart, right? They have babies and children with women based upon how these women are shaped. Maybe they get, over enamored by their figure and their body and their boob job or whatever it is, blah, 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 blah. And they overlook the subtle virtues that a person needs to really be happy. And I'll talk more about this, but the stronger the intention, the further it will go or carry one through all 4 seasons of one's life. If you think about it, certain intentions only fit within a certain season. And there are other intentions that fit in all the seasons, right? Because they kind of, it's like a domino effect. If you attach yourself to the right ideas and the right intentions, it'll carry you far. So this is just an idea that I wanted to flesh out. I wanted to share with you all. Beware of the intentions that you have. Be self-aware. What is it that you want? And is that a good thing? Is that serving you? Is it serving you to, only date men who are high value, so to speak? And what is high value? What is high value really? Is it serving you to have more or multiple sexual partners, right? Is it serving you not to have children until you're 40, until you're 35? And this goes for men and women. You know, there's lots of things to think about with regards to one's intentions and the seeds. The fruit that these seeds become, right? So there's always a harvest, and some of the most fruitful harvests are those where the person has, sorry to say it, but the best intentions. The best intentions. And so I'm going to leave you with that one. Let me know what you think about this. I'd love to hear your thoughts on intentions and how you kind of see things going and what you see going wrong in many of the relationships that others are in. This has served me well, and it's also governed the type of advice that I offer to others when I do consultations, etc. And it's helped kind of clarify things. Okay? So, anyway, let me know what you think. I look forward to hearing from you soon, and thank you for attending the Relationship Theater. I'll see you next time. Peace.